Alright, so we're back to the only game where the only thing more difficult for a man than remembering one anniversary date is remembering 100 anniversary dates from all of your psychotic wife Sims. It's The Sims 4. I suppose this was a natural evolution of the last episode, which was giving a woman 100 husbands, and thus today, we will give a man 100 wives. There are, however, a few twists here which I will explain. The victor of our last instance, the man formerly known as the friendship bracelet wearing, sunglasses toting, slick back hair, large bearded six-pack Evan Thorne, has been renamed to someone I can actually remember. His name is now Kyle. Listen, I tried to think of a dude that like snorts protein shakes for breakfast, and the name Kyle just seemed to work. I also like how no matter what, Kyle is the first person to take his shirt off in every single instance of his existence. It's like he's allergic to clothing. You may say to yourself, but Florida man never wears a shirt. It's not that he takes his shirt off, it's that there's no shirt that can deal with him. Since everyone loves both Florida man and Australian man, they will also be making an appearance in this particular challenge. So the challenge, which will take place in this slightly hepatitis-induced motel, is one that involves 2 different rounds. Each of my fine specimens of maleship shall be given 50 wives, and they will have 3 days to woohoo as many wives as possible. This will then go on for a second round. Again, we're doing 50 wives at a time because I feel like a lot less people will be dying from jealousy and bladder failures this way. Don't worry, there's still gonna be hearts exploding and bladder failures. Just, you know, we're actually gonna be able to get the challenge done. And thus, at the end of the second round, we'll find out which sim has the most male epic protein weightlifting pancake power. Now with 2 rounds, how it's gonna work is the person who was in last place in the first round will be eliminated. So that means that only 2 of the 3 male sims will go on to the second round. You may also notice that Spleens is looking at something very intently. When one of her eyes tries to leave her skull, that means it's something important happening. And so if you are ever mentally unstable enough to want this being on a piece of clothing, there is now Spleens merchandise, which you will find in the YouTube shelf below. I'm gonna try and have plushies coming soon. Spleens is like, Jesus Christ. No, Spleens, you don't get a cut of the profits. You just get to watch more of your friends die. She's probably still like, fair trade. This motel is actually gonna work perfectly because for some reason, it seems like Sims are allergic to having sex in everything but spas and hot tubs. First things first. Time to give these poor bastards 47 more wives. Okay, we've got our first cluster of 50 sim wives, and it is a glorious mess. I'm not gonna lie too, this female Mr. T over here with the feather earring and the mohawk is legit. She's like, I pay the fool who gets away true love. You can tell she doesn't take shit from anyone because she's wearing another girl's eyeball on her finger. All right, now it's time to get all these girls involved in holy matrimony.
A few hours later.
Okay, everyone is now just married. I like how some people are happy about it and some people are like, whatever. Florida man, Australian man, Kyle, go my children, and show me which of you are the most potent. I like how Spleens is so sad. She's like, I'm supposed to be the only woman everyone loves. That's right, everyone. Yeah, come on into the motel. It's a beautiful place to get tons of pregnancies going on. There's a nice pool and some outdoor lighting. And as I like to call them now, sex tubs. There's even a nice playground right next to a full liquor bar. Oh, I had to mention too, I still have the alcoholism and sober traits installed as the mod. So there's a bunch of weird, different feelings that these sims can have, such as feeling judged by being near a sober sim. All right, you have until 9 a.m. on Wednesday to have as much woohoo as possible, so get to it. I love how there's this weird refrigerator advertisement in the background. This rabbit is like, you could fit an entire body in our refrigerators. Look at this. Florida man is already getting intimate with one of the other sims. She could also be a cannibal trying to eat his face. I'm not really, oh my God, what the hell is that face in the background? But anyway, Australian man and Florida man are already doing their thing. Meanwhile, Kyle is literally just chilling out in the pool all alone. Ah, here we go. The sparks of love begin as random curly-haired blonde girl begins talking to Kyle. Oh, now he has two. See, Kyle's a different type of sim. While all of the other male sims seem to seek out women, Kyle just like avoids them and they come to him. Ah, the jealousy has begun already. I love how this lady is so angry, but by the same token, she's also happy because she's near the misery of other sims. Florida man has decided to watch a nice Western while Whitley Ariaga makes him a nice cup of coffee. Whitley over here is like, how do you take your coffee? And Florida man is like, hopefully without divorce. Australian man, please God, don't tell me you're going to try and cook. I would prefer if we didn't burn the house down before someone woohooed. He's over here, he's like, God, which of these bladed implements do I use first? Man, Florida man is legitimately all over. He is hitting it off really well. This is kind of unusual because before he wasn't really that good at the whole romance thing in the previous episode. I like how Evan is over here like, you like the feeling of that six-pack? And Isla is like, God, I miss my llama. I always try and think about what spleens could possibly be dreaming of. She's probably getting raided by the DEA. She's like, no, officer, it's not mine. Okay, this is what you always want to see. And that's where a male sim talks to a female sim in a flirty way, and all of the surrounding female sims in the room get super pissed off at him. Kyle, you may be the first person to get a face slap. There it is. I love that this dude has the daredevil trait, and he's just like a total jackass. So getting beat by women, he's like, oh, that feels great. What a rush. Whoa, Mrs. T, where you been at? All these other girl sims are up in your property. You've got like 9 more fingers to put eyeballs on. Wow, legit. She walks in and the very first thing she does is like, thought, okay, now this is something that's very special. Australian man is currently hitting on LSD. Oh yeah, they're hitting it off pretty well actually. Florida man reached parenting level 1. How? With what? Where'd he get this parenting level from? The only thing he knows how to do is how to keep beer cold. Florida man's like, well, beer and children have a lot in common. They cost a lot of money and they fill you with regret. I love how everyone keeps on acquiring the cooking skill. Oh Christ, we have a fire. Wait a second. I almost missed this as well. Is this Ellis and Australian man having woohoo time? It is. They're in the middle of woohooing and there's a fire going out of the lot. Anya over here is like, sabotaged, bitch. Okay, does the woohoo still happen? I think it does. Despite there being a fire on the lot, they're still going to finish. Is anyone putting this fire out? There's a sim that's on fire. I love how Florida man looks horrified and Kyle just looks displeased. He's like, please tell me that girl still works. Is anyone gonna help this girl? Is anyone going to help her? Oh, I see. You'll put out the grill, but you won't put out her. I love how this woohoo was unsatisfied. It was a mediocre woohooing. I mean, it still counts, but clearly his expectations are way too high. That's right, everyone. Tips are welcome. Whitley over here is like, oh, tips are welcome, huh? I got a tip for you. You stay the hell away from Kyle. Tonsils is over here in the bathroom. He doesn't actually need to use it. He's just hungry for Drano. Oh, hey, Autumn is a cat lover. This means that she may live. Spleens is like, that's a wise choice, Autumn. Oh no! This is possibly the greatest pairing in the history of Sims. Mrs. T is woohooing Florida man, it's fantastic! Hopefully it's not mediocre. This girl came in and slapped him mid-woohoo. It still counted though. This is also an unsatisfactory woohoo. How come it's always this hot tub? This hot tub never gets any action. She seemed to be okay with it. Meanwhile, Florida man is having people line up to slap the out of him. All right, the score is now 1-1. Florida and Australian man both up by 1. Kyle hasn't actually hit it off with anyone quite yet. I mean, he is in bed with someone. It's just he was like, you have to sleep on top of the covers, pleb. Florida man has an awful reputation. You don't say. Hi, Death. Did someone die and I didn't know about it, or are you just chilling out? Oh, nope, someone's totally drowning. It's always only a matter of time before people start drowning in the pool. Hey, 2 for 1 over here. Never mind, 3 for 1. Holy God, this pool is a place of death and horror. Everyone get the hell out. Tiara, Jesus, run. It's worse than Jaws. I like how the Grim Reaper teleports in only to see that it's a Graystillplays episode, and then he gets the fuck out. Have a sim outlive 5 spouses. He outlived 5 spouses in the span of 10 seconds. I love how Spleens is over here, and she's like, this isn't actually a saltwater pool. It just tastes salty because of all of the tears. I need to show y'all something. So Spleens is over here, and she's asleep. Or is she? Seriously, you had to put the coffee cup right in the urine? Hey, something's going on inside of the hot tub. Who will pop out? I'm kind of curious to know. It's Florida Man again! Who the hell is he with this time? I love how he goes in here. This is Erica. He does his thing. He gets the hell out, and he's like, and that's up by 2. All right, so Kyle's at 0. Australian Man is at 1. Florida Man is at 2. And pretty soon, we're only gonna have another day left. Okay, I just heard the death sound. It is completely possible that when I take off this like cinematic mode, never mind, I didn't even have to do it. It is her, in fact, drowning to death. Way to go, Precious. Tonsils has left the girls a nice fresh cat leaving. Very romantic. I don't know how to say this, but Florida Man just died. So he's out for the remainder of this round, but he is still up by 1. Don't worry, he'll be back for round 2. I was trying to figure out what the hell Kyle's been doing this whole time. I mean, he is sleeping with a woman. They're just on different sides of the floor. Elisa over here tried to escape. It doesn't work that way. There is no escape. Now, Elish, for Christ's sakes, get out of the pool. No sim has gone into this pool and has come out alive. I've lost a lot more wives to death than I did husbands when we did the husband challenge. And as if on cue, Octavia dies, followed by Allison, followed by Ashlyn. Kyle, meanwhile, has been sad, mourning the constant stream of dead loved ones. Multiple more deaths. I never thought it would happen. There's legitimately like 4 hours left of round 1. An Australian Man and LSD end up doing it in the same damn hot tub that everyone uses. Also, I just realized something. I thought that Evan was sleeping like an idiot because I hadn't ever seen his death pop up, but I think it's just because we've screwed the game over so much at this point. He's just been up here dead the whole time. The first round is over. This is amazing. Kyle disastrously didn't have any woohoo and then he died. Florida Man had a ton of woohoo and then he died. And Australian Man is now tied with Florida Man, and both of them, the 2 best friends, will be going on to round 2. Okay, we're about to start the second round. We now have 50 more wives for Australian Man and Florida Man to disappoint. And I'm not gonna lie, I already see a green mohawk and a trucker hat, so I'm super happy with this crop of females. We also have a few returning famous sims, such as Claire Danes Loves Pudding, Flo Kane, and if you can see her blue hair, it's Jamie Thighmaster. Okay, everyone is freshly married. We're ready to roll. Go get them, boys. Now, how this is gonna work is obviously we're gonna have 3 more days of potential woohooing. We will once again be ending on a Wednesday at around 9 a.m. If somehow both Florida Man and Australian Man are still alive and have the exact same amount of woohoos, we will go into woohoo sudden death, which typically means the first person to get a woman alone inside of a hot tub will be the victor. This girl over here reminds me of like a Disney princess. She's like, oh God, I made a wrong turn somewhere. Oh, okay, Australian Man just had the first kiss, which means he immediately made an enemy of everyone over here. I love that Florida Man and Claire Danes Loves Pudding are both complaining back to back. I love how Tonsils is over here and he's like, hey Spleens, you having a good time? And Spleens is like, hell yes! It warms my heart to see Jamie Thighmaster and Australian Man getting along. It's probably because she's the only female he hasn't pissed off yet. Tanvi has learned the following traits about Australian Man. He's mean. However, Natalie is also mean, and so they're getting along really well. Australian Man is like, you know, we both have a lot in common. We both hate everyone that's not us. So, we legitimately have had our very first death already. Hello there, ma'am. Do you enjoy swimming in the pool alone? Do you know what that means? That means no one's going to be around to watch you drown. We're coming on the end of our first day, and both Florida man and Australian man have completely struck out so far. Wow, it didn't take very long to have the first no excuse. It's good to see that while Australian man and Florida man are taking it easy, both spleens and tonsils are working extra hard. Spleens is like, that 30 minutes of sleep was good enough to last me for the next 12 years. Hey girls, stop taking up the hot tub. Okay, we're already into Monday morning and there still hasn't been a single woohoo happening. I swear to God, don't make me add more hot tubs. Y'all don't want more hot tubs. A moment of epic magic is happening between Florida man and someone with the exact same hair color. Hopefully they share no relations. Who is this woman that has found love with one of the most felonious men of all time? This girl's name is Harley Harwood. So these guys had a fine woohoo session, but I love the fact that this girl has a trait called feeling the urge from being an alcoholic. It makes perfect sense that her and Florida man get along so well. So Florida man is currently up by 1 at this point, 3-2 out of the total. Now there is still 2 days left. This is going until Wednesday, so Australian man has some time to catch up. Spleens is over here talking to this woman. Spleens is like, you know what I love most about you, ma'am? And she's like, what? And Spleens is like, you're edible. Florida man is having a nice snooze on the pavement over here after his morning breakfast of Bud Light. He's also dying. Okay, this is a big deal. Florida man is now dead, which means that if Australian man can have woohoo time twice more by the end of the competition, he will be the winner. I think I can see now why Australian man is having such a problem. I guess he's uncomfortable being around alcoholics. There is a lot of urine in this room. We've got some chain deaths going on now. That's lovely. Are you two gonna fall at... Wow, simultaneous death. You don't see that too often. Claire Danes, Jesus, no. Okay, real quick. This happened shortly after all the death. It looks like Australian man took this opportunity to have some fun times with a girl that smells like rotting sewage. Do you ever wonder what it looks like when Sims are woohooing inside of the hot tub? I guess for whatever reason, the texture didn't light up. And, I'm not really sure what sort of weird yoga is happening here. I'm not gonna lie, Australian man, the maneuvers that you just did were amazing. The hot tub is boiling, hearts are flying out. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, which is good because that means that Australian man had less than a half a day left. Where the hell are the people? No one's... Finally, Australian man surfaces for a short time. It wasn't really a matter of whether or not he could win. It was more a matter of whether or not he or all of his spouses would end up dying. An Australian man gets the final woohoo in, which means he will be the winner, and it's funny to see. But the person that gave him the win was this lady that has the near misery from evil trait. I appreciate that Florida man finds interest in everyone that's an alcoholic, and Australian man finds interest in everyone that's evil. It was a close bout, but Australian man's happy. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode of The Sims 4. Till next time, stay foxy and much love.